You've had this argument at least once in your life. Maybe at a bar, maybe on the playground, maybe in the comments section of a video exactly like this one. Lion versus tiger. Who would win? 99% of people pick the lion without blinking. King of the beasts, right? Here's the thing. They're wrong. And in 2026, the biomechanical data finally settles it, with receipts. By the end of this, you'll know exactly who wins a lion versus tiger real fight. Not from a gut feeling, not from a cartoon nickname we handed out centuries ago. From bite force, body weight, skull thickness, and paw swipe speed, all measured in the real world. And before we get to the verdict, there's one physical stat the tiger has that the lion literally cannot counter. Most people have never even heard of it. That single number is the whole ball game, and I'll show you exactly why near the end. So let's treat this like what it really is, the heavyweight title fight of the animal kingdom. 2026's got everybody in showdown mode, brackets everywhere, the whole world screaming about who beats who. And the internet's oldest matchup deserves a proper tale of the tape. Two corners, two apex predators, one cage. In the first corner, the African lion, mature male, dense golden tawny coat, that thick dark amber mane framing a heavy rounded skull, amber eyes, a blunt broad muzzle. He tips the scales anywhere from 420 to 550 pounds of broad-chested muscle. His bite force? Roughly 650 psi. He's a social apex predator, and hold on to that word, social, because it matters way more than you'd think later on. In the opposite corner, the Bengal tiger. Large adult male. Long and lean, wrapped in vivid orange and black stripes, pale ice blue eyes locked dead forward. He runs heavier, 500 to 670 pounds, and longer nose to tail. His bite force? Around 1,050 psi. That's not a small edge, folks. That's nearly double the crushing power right at the teeth. Let me sit on that bite for a second, because this is where the fight starts tilting. 650 psi versus 1,050. Both cats kill the same way, a suffocating clamp on the throat. But the tiger's jaws close with dramatically more pressure, so when it locks onto a windpipe, it ends things faster. Same weapon, bigger hammer. Now wait. On paper, the ranges overlap, and lion fans love to shout that from the rooftops. But look at the top end. A big Bengal at 670 pounds is carrying well over 100 extra pounds on a big lion. And in a contest between two animals that fight by wrestling, grabbing, and pinning, mass is leverage. Leverage decides who ends up on top, literally. Everyone wants to crown the strongest animal in the world, and these two cats are the finalists every single time. So let's talk defense, because it's not all offense. Both have thick, reinforced skulls built to take a beating. The lion's rounded skull, plus that mane, give him a genuinely tougher head and neck package to crack. The tiger's skull is longer, with a pronounced ridge on top, the sagittal crest, anchoring the massive jaw muscles that generate that bigger bite. So the lion's better armored, the tiger hits harder. Trade-offs everywhere. This is exactly why the fight's closer than the highlight reels make it look. So why does everyone reflexively pick the lion? Two reasons, and neither one is about combat. The mane and the marketing. That glorious mane makes a lion look bigger, look regal, and for thousands of years, humans crowned him king. But the mane isn't a weapon, it's armor. Real, useful neck armor in a throat fight. And we'll come right back to it. But it doesn't add a single pound of hitting power. We picked our champion on looks. Nature doesn't care about looks. And when you ask the people who actually watched these cats collide, the story flips hard. Back in the 1800s, an Indian Maharaja, the Gaikwad of Baroda, staged a fight between a lion and a tiger. The tiger won. Roman emperors pitted them against each other in the Colosseum, and the surviving accounts lean the tiger's way. 20th century circus trainers who handled both cats daily, people with no reason to lie, said the same thing over and over. Bet on the tiger. So who would win in a fight, lion or tiger? The eyewitnesses already voted, and it wasn't close. Now, the X factor. Actually, 2 of them. And this is where it stops being a debate. X factor number 1, lifestyle. The lion is social. He lives in a pride, and when he fights, he usually fights alongside his brothers, a coalition, 2 or 3 males ganging up on one rival. That's his entire combat resume. Team fights. The tiger? Solitary. Every single tiger is a lone duelist who has survived every territorial brawl of his life one-on-one, with no backup, or he'd already be dead. So in a true 1v1, you're pitting a seasoned solo specialist against a cat who's used to having help show up. That's a mismatch of experience most people completely miss, and it changes everything about how this plays out. But X factor number 2 is the big one. This is that stat I promised you at the top, the one the lion literally cannot counter. Ready? Reach and swipe speed. When tigers fight for real, they rear up onto their hind legs and box with both front paws. And the tiger has exceptional forelimb reach and swipe speed, longer arms, faster hands, and the balance to stand tall and strike. Put it in boxing terms, the tiger's got the longer reach and the quicker jab. In any striking exchange, reach plus speed means one thing: you land first and you land more. The lion can't out-train that. He can't bulk up to fix it. He cannot grow longer arms, and he cannot buy a faster swipe. It's physically baked into the animal. That's the stat with no answer. And that's really who wins a real lion versus tiger fight, right there. And don't picture this as slow and clumsy. A cat this size can cover ground in an explosive burst, and the tiger pairs that raw acceleration with the agility to twist, rear, and strike in the same motion. Bigger doesn't mean slower here. It means a heavier object moving just as fast, and that's the kind of detail that changes the entire matchup. Think about what that means blow by blow. The tiger's oversized front paws, loaded with retractable claws, can rake and hook the lion's face before the lion's shorter reach even connects. First contact, first damage, first blood. Over and over, every single exchange. All right, tail of the tape's done. X factors are on the table. Let's actually run this thing. Ding ding, 2 males. No prides, no backup, neutral ground. They spot each other, and both cats drop into a threat display. Ears flat, that low, bone-rattling growl. Bodies turned broadside to look as massive as possible. Neither one blinks. The lion charges first. He's built for a powerful forward drive, all that shoulder and chest mass behind him, going for the classic big cat play. Close the gap, grab, drag it down, get to the throat. But the tiger's been here before. As the lion closes, the tiger rocks back onto his hind legs. And this is the exact moment the whole fight hinges on. Standing tall, both front paws free, that longer reach comes online. The first swipe lands before the lion's even inside. Claws rake across the face and shoulder. First blood. Tiger. Then they collide, and now it's a wrestling match. Here's where the extra 100+ pounds and the longer frame go to work. The tiger uses his mass to stay upright and drive downward, keeping those front paws and open jaws aimed at the lion. And now the mane earns its paycheck. It genuinely muddies the tiger's throat grab, buying the lion precious seconds. This is the part lion fans are dead right about. That mane is real armor, and it keeps him in the fight far longer than he has any business staying. But longer isn't the same as long enough. The tiger's heavier, he's higher, and he's landing more. Every scramble back up to standing, the reach advantage resets. The lion's tiring under all that weight. The bigger, faster, harder-biting cat is simply doing more damage per exchange. And with the tiger's mass pinning him down, and that 1050 psi bite hunting past the mane for the windpipe, the lion's clock runs out. So, lion versus tiger fight. Who will win? On the biomechanics, the verdict is the tiger. Bigger, heavier, harder bite, longer reach, faster swipe, and more real solo combat experience. When wildlife experts and big cat specialists get asked to call this, most land somewhere around the tiger taking roughly 6 or 7 fights out of 10. Not every time, but more often than not. But here's the nuance almost nobody gives you. The tiger wins the battle, and the lion wins the war. Because in the wild, this fight basically never happens one-on-one. Lions don't fight alone. A lion coalition, 2 or 3 coordinated males, would overwhelm a lone tiger without much trouble at all. The tiger is the better single warrior. The lion is the better army. Strip away the pride and the tiger takes the duel. Give the lion back his brothers and the whole calculation flips on its head. So the honest answer to lion versus tiger, who would win, is it depends on the rules. One-on-one, open ground, no backup? Tiger. Take that bet and take it confidently. Real-world wild encounter with a pride in the picture. Don't you dare bet against the lions. And that one stat I promised you at the very top, the one the lion can't counter, hang on to it, because it's the real lesson buried in all this. Bite force you can argue about. Weight ranges overlap. Manes complicate things. But reach and swipe speed are fixed physical geometry. The tiger's longer forelimbs and faster strike mean he lands first in every striking exchange, and there is no training, no mane, no extra size a lion can add to erase it. When 2 competitors are this close on paper, the one holding the unanswerable advantage almost always wins. That's the entire fight in a single sentence. If this settled it for you, or if it made your blood absolutely boil, do me a favor and tap that like button, because it genuinely tells YouTube to put this in front of the next person stuck mid-argument. Subscribe if you want more of these showdowns, and I've got a whole stack of other matchups on the channel if you're not done arguing yet. And I want your verdict. If you still think the lion takes this one-on-one, make your case down in the comments. I read them, and honestly, the main armor crowd has a better argument than people give them credit for. Then tell me who you want in the ring next. Gorilla versus grizzly, or great white versus orca. One of those has an upset ending that'll make this whole lion-tiger debate look tame. Pick a side. I'll see you in the next one.